Morning, councillors, and welcome to the 829th Ordinary Council meeting of 29 January 2025. I declare this meeting open at 10 a.m. and would like to advise attendees that this meeting is being webcast and audio recorded. Now, we'll get kicked off with the first acknowledgement to country of the year from our local school students. These students are from Rochdale South State School, and Scarlett is going to do an acknowledgement to country. If I can get you to come up to the lectern, and let's give them a round of applause as they come up because they're a little bit nervous. When you're ready, Scarlett.
I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land of which we meet today, the Yugambeh and Yagara people. I would also like to extend that respect to the elders past, present and emerging, for they hold the memories, traditions, cultures and hopes of Australia's first peoples.
Thank you very much. Wonderful work. You can take your seat. Give them a round of applause. I too would like to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we meet today and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I would now like to introduce the Venerable Abbess Meng Wang from the Chung Tian Temple to open the meeting with a reflection of faith. Thank you, Abbess.
Pray for the government, pray for our elected leadership by the Venerable Master Xing Yun, founding master of the Fo Guangshan Buddhist order. O great compassionate Buddha, your birth has brought light to this world. Your teaching has enlightened us with the truth of the life. Your loving kindness and compassion are the basis of the universal love, unity and harmony. As we are participating in this Logan City Council meeting, we firstly remember those elected representatives who has previously served on the Logan Council and contribute to the building this city into the great home of so many people. We pray for our elected leaders in the council and the sacrifice and the service they provide in the public life, remembering also their families. We pray that each is blessed with the good health and that they are also blessed with the wisdom. During the current economic crisis, we also pray that our elected representatives are guided in the difficult task of the choosing the decisions that ultimately affect the well-being of all Logan residents. Finally, we pray for each here this morning and for all those who are in our hearts and in our thoughts. We pray the Buddha brings peace to our life and guiding us all on the path of happiness. O great and compassionate Buddha, please accept our sincere prayer. Homage to the Sakyamuni Buddha. May kindness, compassion, joy, and equanimity pervade all worlds. May we cherish and build affinity to benefit all beings. May charm, pure land, and precepts inspire equality and patience. May our humanity and gratitude give rise to the great vows. Thank you. Please be seated. Actually, today I've been here. First, I want to thank you, our Logan City's councillor, to make the bus extend to the temple. And the good message this year is from the TransLink. Give us a call yesterday. They want to make the bus station name with the Chung Tian Temple. Yeah, so this is a good message there. And second, I want to thank you for the council continue to support our Menshines project. The Menshines project's building is going on to commence soon. The early work is nearly complete. The third things I want to thank you for the Logan City Council support the temple for 35 years, since I was first time in the Logan, 1991 until now. Of course, I left to the other state, 97 and to the 2019. But when this time I come back, I saw the Logan City is really, really the best city to stay. So thank you. Thank you. And by this chance, New Year time, bring some wisdom word from our great master. Little token for you.
Wonderful.
And got the English word. Each one is different. The wisdom word for we to practice this year. Thank you.
Thank you very much,
all
Abbas.
around,
Yes, please,
yeah.
please distribute them. Today is a very auspicious day for the Abbas to be with us because it is the beginning of the Lunar New Year. Last time, many councillors joined her at the temple to celebrate the Lunar New Year's Eve in Councillor Bradley's lecture, and it was wonderful to, thank you so much, to see the beautiful art. I got compassion. There we go. Jinyi Kwaila to any people who are celebrating the Lunar New Year in Logan this year, and thank you so much to the Abbas for coming in and giving us those words of wisdom and that wonderful announcement that the temple bus stop will be renamed the Chongtian Temple Bus Stop, which is so exciting. Abbas, you're welcome to stay with us for the meeting if you're able, but we understand that you are very busy, so if you have to go, we don't mind. I'll just let you finish distributing those before I move on to attendances. And the CEO got safety, which is incredibly appropriate for a CEO to get. Give that a round of applause. That's awesome. It's so good. So good. It works, see? Buddha is wise. Councillors, I note that Councillor Stemp is absent from today's ordinary council meeting. There are no other councillors who are absent who need to seek a leave of absence. There is a motion on the screen for Councillor Stemp's leave of absence. Can someone move that for me, please? Thank you, Councillor Hall, seconded by Councillor Murphy. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you very much, councillors. Councillors, we now move on to condolences. Do any councillors have any condolences they would like to offer today? Councillor Lane and then Councillor Wilcox. Thank you very much.
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor, and thank you, Abbas, for your reflections this morning. I hope that you'll be able to keep this person in your prayers going forward. I'd like to acknowledge the passing of Pastor Willie Strickland. Pastor Willie was a pastor for the ADRA Community Centre. He was born in Auckland. He was a pastor for over a decade in both Australia and New Zealand. He dedicated his life to the service of others and in making a difference. He fostered an environment that was warm and welcoming, and for people doing Skilling Queenslanders for Work programs through ADRA. He was just the coolest dude who would welcome people so warmly into his life and into his heart. And he actually passed away. He was administering some guidance to somebody, and a flash flooding caught him and swept him away, and his body was found a couple of days later. Now, Pastor Willie is missed by so many. Sam and Brigitte from ADRA, his wife Mara, his children Kenton, Taylor and Mackenzie, and his brother and sister Minnie and Kenneth. We pass our condolences along. The loss of someone like Pastor Willie is a real loss for our community. And I'd also, Mr Mayor, like to express condolences to Chappie Ray Moaga, who is also part of the ADRA community. So a big loss for our local area, and we wish his family well in the future.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Those condolences will be passed on. Councillor Wilcox.
Thank you so much. I'd like to pass our condolences on to the family of Bruce C. Ward of Greenbank. He recently passed away in December. He was a much beloved partner of Lee and a much loved part of her family. They held a celebration of his life in December, but I was unable to attend. So if we could please send on our best wishes to the family and everyone, that would be lovely. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. That will be done. We will now observe a moment of reflection in honour of those who have gone before us and in support of those they have left behind. Please stand and we'll remain silent for a moment. Thank you. You may be seated. We'll now move on to congratulations. I open the floor to congratulations, and I will begin with Division 1. Do you have any congratulations, Councillor Bradley?
More sincere thanks to the students of Rochdale South State School who came this morning. Really did a good job there, Scarlett. Well done. Thank you to also Myla, Theodore, Suzanne and Archie, and also to the teachers who have brought them along today. Thank you very much for organising that on day 2 of school. That's pretty impressive. I want to also express my sincere thanks to the councillors who came along last night to Lunar New Year. It was a fantastic event. Councillor Jackson, Hall, Fraser, Wilcox and of course Mr Mayor. And I'm not sure, is the Abbess still here? Sincere thanks to the Abbess for her reflection this morning. I really want to also pass on my sincere thanks to the staff involved with the Underwood Road bus turnaround. It's been a project many years in the making, and I think Darryl Riley probably is very grateful to no longer receive emails from me now that it has actually been finally brought to fruition. I want to also pass on sincere thanks to Paul Wilson and his team for all the work that they've done behind the scenes actually constructing the bus turnaround. I was pretty impressed last night. Usually Lunar New Year is one of the biggest events in the city, and it's bumper to bumper getting there. Did not see one bumper to bumper last night, didn't even see a car as I drove into the facility. So that bus turnaround is really making a huge impact. So thank you to everyone involved.
Thank you, Councillor Bradley. We'll make sure those thanks and congratulations are passed on. Councillor Lane.
Thanks very much, Mr Mayor, and Happy New Year, everybody. Sit back, relax again. There's a lot to be grateful for in my division. Firstly, to Mr Leslie and Mrs Margaret Cartwright. They're from Woodridge. They were married in 1955 in St Margaret's Church in Leeds, came over here as 10-pound poms and are celebrating their 70th wedding anniversary. Now, as a person that's on her 3rd, I reckon that's a pretty big call, good on them. They're actually down in Melbourne celebrating with family and friends. They actually raised a family here in this local community. They're part of the community, they're an active part of the community, and to celebrate 70 years of marriage is absolutely astonishing to me. Lisa Wadigo was recognised as a member of the Order of Australia, AM, for her significant service to Indigenous businesses. Now, I raise Lisa not because she lives in Logan, but because her impact in Logan is so profound. Co-founder of Black Coffee, Indigenous Business Network. She's Indigenous Business Media. She's written books. She's done a wide range of things, and for that she was actually acknowledged by the Governor-General and the King for her efforts to community. So I want to do a big shout out to Lisa Wadigo for her acknowledgements in Australia Day Awards. The other one is Saba Abraham. Now, you smiled as soon as I said the name, and we smile because Saba's part of the Eritrean community, and she's such a vivacious, wonderful woman that has come from a life of hardship to build a wonderful community here in Australia for the Eritrean community. She's part of the Queensland Eritrean Community Association, the Australian African Women's Association, the Queensland African Communities Council. This woman is a powerhouse, and the acknowledgement by, again, the King and the Governor-General and the Australian people of her efforts to actually build the Eritrean community and have it push forward in the Australian community is absolutely fantastic. So I want to say a big shout out to Saba. The next one is a bit odd, and I thought you would have done it, Mr Mayor. It's actually the Public Service Medal was issued to our former CEO and Roads Director, Silvio Trinca, and that was done for 42 years of local government service, both in Perth, City of Stirling, City of Canning and Logan City Council. Now, Silvio went through a range of roles in Logan City Council, but most importantly for many of us, he was the first face we spoke to when we were elected. And I just want to say a big congratulations to him on that Public Service Medal Award. And I think that for a lot of council staff, particularly in that roads and across council, they'll be very happy to hear him receive that award. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Mama Saba also runs a social enterprise where she helps young women develop language skills and use their excellent cooking to earn an income, which is wonderful. And Congratulations to Silvio as well. I remember fondly how scared I was whenever he called me into his office as the acting CEO, because it usually meant I was about to get a scolding. So it shows you his wisdom though. Councillor Russell, do you have any congratulations? Councillor St. Ledger, Councillor Jackson, Councillor Hall, Councillor Fraser, Councillor Heremiah, Councillor Bennon, Councillor Wilcox and Councillor Murphy. Well done. We'll now move on to item 6, which is confirmation of the previous minutes of the previous ordinary council meeting. I now refer to the minutes of the previous ordinary council meeting, and I move that those minutes be confirmed. Would someone second that motion, please? Thank you, Councillor Fraser. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously with the exception of Councillor Bradley. How do you vote?
I wasn't here, so I'll abstain, thank you.
That will be noted. Thank you very much, councillors. Councillors, we now move to declarations of conflict of interest. I do not have any conflicts of interest provided to me on this agenda. Are there any new ones that you'd like to declare at this time? There being none, we'll move to business arising. We have no business arising from the previous minutes to consider. So we'll move straight into committee minutes and recommendations and begin with the Special Budget Committee. Councillors, I refer to the Special Budget Committee held on the 5th of December 2024. Councillor Murphy, chairperson of that committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. On the last day of the official meetings in December, councillors were presented with 135 investment proposals for us to review on that day. The day was long, and I thank you all for involved and for the preparation of those reports and everybody's help on that day. The organisation will now present those reports that have been passed through to the next review, which will be on the 3rd of April, as we work towards the budget in June. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Hand back to you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Do any other councillors wish to speak to the committee? No, but it's wonderful to see that we started this process so early this year so that councillors are able to really dig into the details. Councillor Murphy, you may now move your recommendations.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sorry for pressing the button too early. I would like to now that the recommendations of the Special Budget Committee meeting held on the 5th of December 2024 be adopted.
Councillor Murphy has moved the motion on the screen. Is there a seconder for that motion? Thank you, Councillor Jackson. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously with the exception of Councillor Bradley.
Thank you, I wasn't here, so I'll abstain.
Councillor Bradley has abstained. Thank you very much. Councillors, will now move to the City Infrastructure Committee of the 22nd of January 2025. Councillor Bennon, chairperson of that committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. There was only one report. It was very basic, just a street name change. We just spoke to the residents that live on the street and they were happy, so it was pretty straightforward. So well done to the team.
Thank you, Councillor Bennon. Do any other councillors wish to speak to the motion? There being none, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Infrastructure Committee meeting held on the 22nd of January 25 be adopted.
Councillor Bennon has moved the motion on the screen. Is there a seconder for that motion? Thank you, Councillor St. Ledger. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. We now move to the City Governance Committee held on the 22nd of January 2025. Councillor Murphy, chairperson of that committee, you may proceed.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. Since last committee week, we have received an additional 2 local infrastructure projects, and therefore 6.11, the local infrastructure program of January 2025, will be addressed first and separately from the bulk adoptions.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. You may speak to 6.11.
Thank you again, Mr. Mayor. I just wanted to report there was 14 projects put forward for the local infrastructure project and 2 material amendments to existing projects. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Murphy. Would any other councillors like to speak to this report? There being none, Councillor Murphy, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Would you like? Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Sorry about that. City Governance Committee was extremely busy this round. They put us on our toes. We had 12 reports last Wednesday. Representatives from the
Councillor Murphy, can you move the motion on the screen for me first, and then you can speak to the rest of the report.
Yes, sorry, Mr. Mayor. Yes, I'd like to move that recommendation.
Councillor Murphy has moved the recommendation on the screen. Is there a seconder for that motion? Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. With the very enthusiastic hand. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Now, Councillor Murphy, you may speak to the remainder of your recommendation.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. I skipped ahead a little there, didn't I?
It is very exciting in city governance.
I know, especially when we've done 12 reports for the start of the new year. To start, representatives of Unilab attended to provide us an update of their Quarter 2 and 6 monthly report for 2024 and 25, and they'll be back again in February to give us another review. Matters were reviewed for the Audit and Risk Committee meeting in December, and they were reviewed and noted. Council also discussed the Auditor General's final management report for 2024. The corporate documents, government policy, and the Policy Advisors Group's terms of reference were also considered. Importantly, the Chief Executive's performance review for 2023 and 24 was discussed and completed, and an endorsement was sought for the Executive's Officer's Performance Agreement for 2024-25 financial year. Council also considered the amended budget for 2024-25 financial year and the amendment to the capital program. 3 rating exemptions were reviewed and decided upon by Council in accordance to the general rates and separate charges exemption and concession policies. The monthly financial report for November was considered as the organisation works through the budget amendments. It has become very evident that there is a risk that depreciation and expense cost on the capitalisations of assets will have an impact on Council's operating position in 2024-25. And lastly, a confidential report regarding the current and future state of asset management at Council was also presented and considered. We're a hard-working team in governance. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
You certainly are, Councillor Murphy. Do any other councillors wish to speak to that report? There being none, Councillor Murphy, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Governance Committee meeting held on the 22nd of January 2025 with the exemption of 6.11 be adopted.
Councillor Murphy has moved the motion on the screen. Is there a seconder for that motion? Thank you, Councillor Jackson. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you, councillors. Oh, sorry, Councillor Bradley.
Could I please abstain from 6.1?
Yes, that will be noted. Councillor Herrmann.
Against 6.6.
Thank you, councillors. That will be noted. We now move to the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee held on the 22nd of January. As Councillor Stemp, the chair of that committee, is not here, Councillor Russell, would you please speak to your report?
Yes, there were 3 reports, nothing particularly controversial, so no need to speak excessively to these recommendations today. Thank you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. Would any other councillors wish to speak to that report? There being none, Councillor Russell, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that the recommendations of the City Planning, Economic Development and Environment Committee meeting held on the 22nd of January 2025 be adopted.
Thank you, Councillor Russell. Councillor Russell has moved the motion on the screen. Is there a seconder for that motion? Thank you, Councillor Wilcox. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Would any councillors like to record their name against or abstain from any reports? No? Thank you, councillors. We now move on to City Lifestyle. I refer to the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 22nd of January. Councillor Hall, chairperson for that committee, you may proceed.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. During last week's brief Lifestyle Committee meeting, councillors expressed their gratitude in general business for the efforts of council officers over the holiday period. Despite often challenging circumstances, council officers remain committed to enhancing community safety and the city's amenity. It was a very light committee with no reports to consider, so even less controversial than yours. So back to you, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Hall. I'm impressed you made the speech go that long. Councillor Hall, are there recommendations to adopt when there's no reports? Okay, Councillor Hall, would you like to? Would anyone else like to speak to the extensive amount of reports in that committee? There being none, Councillor Hall, you may move your motion.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I now move that the recommendations, or lack of, for the City Lifestyle Committee meeting held on the 22nd of January 2025 be adopted.
Wonderful work, Councillor Hall. Councillor Hall has moved the motion on the screen. Would someone like to second that motion? Thank you, Councillor Bennett, with an enthusiastic hand up. All those in favour, please raise your hand. That has been carried unanimously. Thank you very much, councillors. Councillors, that brings us to the end of our committee reports. We now move to council reports, of which we have none. We also have no late reports. Do any councillors have any petitions they would like to present at this time? Not at this stage, says Councillor Bradley, her classic line when in relation to all petitions. We have no considerations of notified motions, and I will now move to general business. Today we will start with Division 12. Councillor Murphy, do you have any general business? Councillor Bradley?
I've already said my general business, thank you.
Wonderful, thank you. Councillor Lane?
Never pass an opportunity to speak. Okay, so there is a big thank you. Emily, if you could pass along to your team our thanks when it comes to animal management and safety, and particularly after a dog attack in my area, and also the mowing. Absolutely, the team is so on top of it, they're amazing, and they're reviewing all of the mowing schedules. We've seen a little bit of sloppy stuff happening around the city, but our team are onto it. They're making sure that the contractors are held to account, and I really like that because my residents just want a nice, tidy area to live in. Now, coming up in my area, Mr Mayor, because I always want to promote the really good and cool things that are happening, 31st of January, Amputees Queensland is holding a paint and sip morning with cup of tea, no wine. You're not allowed wine, apparently, in council facilities during the day. The 40 Plus Club is doing theirs on the 7th of February, and Logan Brothers is doing their girls footy sign-on day. Shout out to all the girls. You can play footy and have your fake lashes. You just can't have the nails on. So sign-on day on the 1st of February. Waitangi at Twilight is happening on the 7th of February. That's an amazing opportunity to showcase our Maori colleagues in the community. The 13th of February is the anniversary of the National Apology to the Stolen Generations. On the 20th, we've got Zomi Zamni National Day happening in our local community, Mr Mayor. On the 22nd of February, the Myanmar community is celebrating the Chin National Day with an event in the local community. And on the 23rd of February, I'm hosting a teddy bears picnic. It's the first ever teddy bears picnic in the city. And,
No, it's not.
Oh, it's the first one since I've been in, so that means it's the first one in the city ever.
First one in Division 2,
It's the first one hosted by myself, Cameron Dick and Jim Chalmers, and basically what happens is we're having three-legged races, egg and rock races, because there's an egg shortage at the moment, so we can't do those. We're doing quoits, beanbag throw, and prizes for the best teddy, so bring your picnic, bring a blanket, bring your teddy, and a really good attitude, because this is actually just a wholesome fun day. There's no rides, there's no fairy floss, there's none of that. It's just a community getting together and having fun. So it's going to be the coolest teddy bear picnic ever in the city. That's all I got.
Thank you, Councillor Lane. Excellent job of promoting your area. Councillor Russell? St Ledger, Jackson, Hall, Fraser, Jeremiah?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. Today I rise to speak on a serious issue in Park Ridge. Now, just yesterday, a brand new school was opened up on Park Ridge Road, and the teaching facilities are fantastic. Really, it's unprecedented in terms of the quality of education facilities in Park Ridge. But the great staff there from the teachers and the administration have been left out. They've been disappointed by the development plans of this new school, specifically around the infrastructure upgrades included. We see that the main intersection into this new school has not completed construction. We see a lack of footpath connections for kids to walk safely to the school. And we even see Park Ridge Road getting more and more traffic every day without the appropriate upgrades. Now, part of the reason why this development was allowed to be approved in the way it was is the process that was attached with it. Normally, if a development plan is presented, the developer puts it to council, council has a look through it, and it enables council the opportunity to implement an agreement where they have to upgrade the road outside the development. We see that constantly in Division 8, and it's one of the good things about our town planning. We can see upgrades on Chambers Flat Road and Park Ridge Road from private developments where council has conditioned that developer to upgrade their section of the road. Now, with the new school, the development plans didn't go through that normal process. The state government a number of years ago decided to create these development plans for their own development and approve them themselves using a law that they wrote. So it didn't go through council, and it wasn't subject to that normal process we see. Instead of political blame shifting, my focus is getting the job done. So I've met with several residents, done a series of community meetings on the ground in the neighbouring estates, created an action plan that's identified what are the decision makers, how do we contact them, and how do we push for better results. I'm also working within council to get more funding for footpath upgrades on Park Ridge Road so those kids can walk to school. I look forward to working with the council to get those footpaths done, and I thank you for the time, Mr Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Heremiah. I'll be meeting with the Premier and Local Government Minister after I return from the Europe mission with ComSec, and I'll be very happy to raise those issues with them directly on your behalf. Councillor Bannon?
I'm not going to be quick, Mr Mayor, because I was going to give a big shout out to my good mate Silvio, but Theresa Lane, she's fast, she's good, you're going to be on your balls to beat this lady, and I usually come second.
Councillor, I didn't quite hear you there, Councillor Bannon. What did you want to clarify what you meant with that statement? Thank you, Councillor Bannon. Councillor Wilcox?
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I echo Councillor Heremiah's sentiments with the struggles with the infrastructure leading into and out of new schools, new developments and stuff like that. Both of us are struggling with the population growth that we have in our areas, and our infrastructure simply isn't keeping up. So when you do have that meeting, when you come back, please echo my sentiments as well, because my roads simply aren't keeping up. It took me 23 minutes to drive from my house to Teviot Road, which is 3 kilometres yesterday. Then it took me 23 minutes to drive from Teviot Road to here, which is 20 kilometres. So please, I really do echo what Councillor Heremiah was saying, and it is an uphill battle for both of us at the moment. However, I'm here today. I'm wearing red today because I didn't get a chance to wear it last night. I didn't get a chance to duck home and get changed before going out. I marked Lunar New Year last night, and it was a fabulous night to attend in Councillor Lisa Bradley's area in Division 1 at the Chung Tuan Temple. I really want to thank the President, Michelle Lowe, and Andy and Stephen, who we had dinner with last night, for their hospitality and Abscess Manwaring. It was simply beautiful. I haven't been able to attend the Lunar New Year event that they have held there over the past couple of years. So if you live in Logan, I highly recommend you go and visit it, especially when there's an event on, because it was amazing. And I spoke to Abscess Manwaring this morning about what time she actually got home. I don't think she got home, or people didn't leave until about 1 o'clock this morning and that sort of thing. I know I left at about 9:45 sort of thing with a few of the other councillors and that sort of thing. So it really was beautiful, and happy Chinese New Year, Lunar New Year to everyone, especially if you're like me and you're born in the year of the snake, or last night what I heard was Little Dragon, which I much prefer because I hate being referred to as the year of the snake. May 2025 year of the snake bring wisdom, peace, harmony, transformation and good fortune to you and your loved ones. But also, that also marks this week is the start of the school year. I'm, for one, am very grateful that my kids are going back to school tomorrow, because that should mean that my electricity bill should go down, and the constant whinging of there is nothing to eat in the household, Mum, what is there, should stop. But for those parents who have little ones that have started prep, and in fact everyone who has firsts, that'll bring a tear to the eye. It doesn't get any easier. Tomorrow I will celebrate my last first day with my eldest, because she starts grade 12. See, I'm even tearing up now. So good luck to all the parents, teachers and staff. It is a really wonderful thing.
Thank you, Councillor Wilcox, and we'd love to encourage as many people as possible. I'm going to distract you from the tearful moment, and as many people as possible to attend the Lunar New Year celebrations at the Chung Tuan Temple. The route you want to catch is 578, which is a very auspicious number for the Chinese community, because 8 is a number of prosperity, and buses are only 50 cents. So you can catch them from all over the place, much, much easier than driving there and parking. That brings us to the end of general business and to the end of this meeting. I declare the meeting closed at 10:33. Well done, councillors and everyone else. Take care.